But first, Hurricane Ian slammed the Carolinas Friday after causing widespread damage across Florida. The storm ripped apart piers and flooded neighborhoods with life-threatening storm surge. Heavy rain caused downed trees and power lines and left areas in Charleston underwater. As the storm moved through South Carolina, Ian weakened to a post-tropical cyclone. In Florida, rescue crews are going door to door trying to help anyone that may still be trapped. The storm demolished homes and businesses. President Biden said it's going to take years to rebuild. Nearly 2 million people are still in the dark as officials look to assess the full extent of the damage. We have team coverage on the devastating impacts of Ian and the search and rescue efforts underway. But we begin with CBS News senior national correspondent Mark Strassmann, who joins us now from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Hey, Catherine, good to talk to you. What we're sort of feeling now, I think, here is the back end of the storm. Every once in a while, the winds will kick up in a stronger than normal kind of way, and you'll realize that Ian is yet to move on completely. Landfall here happened about 40 miles south of us in Georgetown, South Carolina. That's in a part of the state known as the Low Country. The Low Country is a series of communities that are either at or below sea level, especially vulnerable to flooding. And those areas are the ones that really are having a rough time tonight. We have one community reporting, Pawleys Island reporting that flooding there was catastrophic. A couple communities, as you mentioned, piers have completely blown away. And then you have individual instances, too, of things gone wrong, things you shouldn't see. I want to show you that shrimp boat that's beached behind me there. What we've heard is that the crew had to evacuate, and then the storm's force just pushed the boat a couple of miles onto the sand here. Gives you a sense of even what a Category 1 storm's force can be all about. And the misery here is, listen, this was not Florida. This is nothing on the scale of what we've all been watching and cringing at watching for the last 3 or 4 days in Florida. But of course, misery is very individualistic. If it's your house, it hurts. And there are a fair number of people here who are hurting tonight, Catherine.
Well, Mark, I was just going to ask you, based on the reporting you've been doing throughout the day, what areas remain most at risk?
I think those areas in the Low Country are the ones that suffered. They are typically flood prone, and that's with a heavy rain. And now we're talking about a Category 1 hurricane. I suppose the good news is that it was a Category 1 and not a Category 4 the way it was when it hit, Fort Myers and Sanibel Island and that part of Southwest Florida. But those areas, they know they're going to get it, and yet when it comes, it still can be overwhelming. Both the water and the sense of, oh gosh, here we go again. We've got to not only wait for this water to disappear, but then we've got to rebuild whatever was damaged. And if you've ever been inside a flooded house, you know there are very few things in life that smell any worse than the mildew inside a flooded house. You just have to rip all the walls down to the studs and essentially start over. And that, of course, is a huge pain in the neck. So with any luck, these people are going to come out of this okay. Haven't heard reports of any deaths or serious injuries so far. So that's the good news. But again, a rough day here on the coast of South Carolina.
And let's just take that a step further. The Carolinas, as you've noted, were working on a very short timeline. Were they able to get out everyone who needed to evacuate?
My sense is yes, although here at least they did not order any evacuations per se. I mean, nothing mandatory, not even anything voluntary. But of course, what you have to do when you live in these small towns is you've got to know who is particularly vulnerable, right? If there's an elderly person or somebody who is not fully mobile, you've got to know that those people are in trouble. And by and large, of course, here in the South, in these small towns, people do look out for one another. They know that Mrs. Jones, who lives down the block, she's older and she's going to need some help, and she doesn't have any way to get out of the town when a disaster is on the horizon. So I have not heard, Catherine, again, of any instances of people who were significantly hurt or who needed a serious rescuing. We saw one rescue today about a block from where I'm standing. It was an apartment building. Suddenly there was a moat of water about 4 feet deep around the building, and there were about 5 people standing on the second story of this apartment building, and a fire truck came and used the tower ladder and the platform to pluck them off the balcony and bring them back to land and to safety. So there have been instances of that, but I haven't heard of a really significant crisis in the making, and that, of course, is good news too.
Mark Strassmann, thank you.